Very good evening to you with Sports Night. I'm Damien Best. Well, the St. Michael's School are leading both the females and males point standings at the end of day one of the Frank Blackman Zone of BSAT 2017. St. Michael lead the females with 219 points from Leicester Vaughan on 166 and the Lodge School on 132 points. Then in the male section, those same schools are also out front with St. Michael on 200 points, Leicester Vaughan 172, and the Lodge School 159. Now, 26 records were broken on the day, with 4 of them coming in the seniors 4x100 meter relays, and all 4 new marks going to St. Michael's School. CBC's Mark Seal reports.
Girls under 17, heat number 2, pretty even from the get-go, but some misfortune for Courage and Parry, as their leadoff runner fell at handover number 1 and they're out. But that mishap didn't affect St. Michael's School. Down the backstretch in a hurry, as a matter of fact, they were chasing the clock as they broke the old record of 51.46 seconds to set a new time of 50.27. Second was Leicester Vaughan, who were in heat number 1 and who also finished under the record in 50.63, while Alexandra were second here but third overall in 52.66. Boys under 17, heat number 2. This one was even Stevens going down the backstretch. So let's fast forward to the final takeover, where Darian Clark led his team home in a new time of 43.26, wiping out the old record of 44.09. Second was Leicester Vaughan, 43.87, while Lodge were in heat number 1 and they finished third in 44.66. Girls under 20, there was only one heat in this age group. No problems with the start, so down the backstretch we go, and SMS dominated once again. Smooth takeovers led them to powering home in yet another record time, 48.16, shattering the old mark by a full second. Second went to Darrell Jordan, 50.73, and no one would finish third, as all the other 3 schools were all disqualified. So to the big boys, the under 20s, heat number 1. They got out without any complications, but surprise, surprise, SMS down the backstretch in a canter. Now this is what you call dominance. Clean handovers and impeccable form. So no surprise, folks, another record, 40.64, slashing the old time of 42.45. Second was the Lodge, 42.28, also under the record, while Leicester Vaughan finished in 42.36. They too broke the old mark. Mark Seal, CBC Sports.
Impresses from SMS there, leaving me speechless. Well, top Barbadian player Darian King is into the main draw of the Miami ATP 1000 tournament in Florida. King was set to battle this morning at 10 o'clock, but his opponent, number 169th ranked Riley Opelika of the USA, couldn't play, so King progressed with a walkover into the main draw. Now, the 24-year-old recently achieved a new career high, 121 in the singles world rankings, jumping 10 places from his previous 131st position. Well, only one set was completed last night as rain affected play in the Mass United Insurance Clash of the Titans Road Tennis Tournament at the Dover Hard Courts in Christchurch. Now, 6 matches were on the schedule, but only Julian Quimby was able to advance from night number 2.
Clash of the Titans round of 64. Julian Quimby closest to the screen versus Merlin Edwards. Quimby looking casual but still very assertive in his stroke play. That's a beauty. But credit to Edwards, he was able to rally long enough and force Quimby into a couple mistakes. 16 serving 14. Edwards, deadly injection. This one going down to the wire in the opening game. Several lead changes. Quimby gets a gift. Both players trying their best to avoid mistakes at this critical juncture. Locked at 20 all. What a rally. Who would draw first blood? Well, it goes to Quimby. Edwards with the error. 20-20 is game on. In the second of this 2 best of 3, tied at 5 all. Edwards testing Quimby's forearm and back arm to good effect. Quimby though would Paul Edwards progression at 14. Some smart tactics using the angle. This time the forearm drive with extra muscle behind it. Quimby going on to complete the 2 straight. 21-14 over Merlin Edwards. Simon Bain next on court against Kamal Cullimore. Bain having his cake and loving it, up 10-3. Cullimore getting mixed signals from his GPS. Way off target there. Not on this occasion though, good aggression coming inside the court for the point. Cullimore avoiding a foul in the first game. Favorable bounce and punished. But it was all smooth sailing from here on in. Bain moving the ball nicely, 21-12. The second game was very keen indeed. Cullimore showing lots of promise, setting up the forearm winner. Bain returning the favor, leaving Cullimore out to sea. Skip ahead late in the second. Cullimore up 16-15. Bain on the comeback trail. Bain couldn't afford to stay on his heels. Cullimore, back arm, well executed. But with the second game destined for a cliffhanger, the heavens open with rain bringing a halt to proceedings with the scores locked at 17.
Well, still to come, 8 new disciplines for Senior Games 2017.
Attention! No song can break my bones when I'm drinking.
It's not about exercising. It's having the strength to do what you're passionate about. It's not about the road traveled. It's about the one to be traveled. An important thing in life is finding the perfect balance between body and soul. With a bottle of Ensure, you get the proteins, calcium, and 26 vitamins and minerals your body needs to live the best moments of your life with strength and energy. Your life, your health, your Ensure.
On the Wednesday edition of Morning Barbados, we're going to be here from 6 o'clock bright and crispy for World Water Day.
Yes, we'll be celebrating with 2 top officials from the Barbados Water Authority. They'll be here to tell us the focus going forward as we try to protect what is a precious resource.
That's right. We'll also spend some time with the students of the Graydon Sealy School, tell you all about their model search, and more talk on water, the benefits of water with the help of Dr. Adrian Lord, just to mention a few. So all that and much more on the Wednesday edition of
Morning Barbados.
Good morning. Morning Barbados.
Why have so many small, open economies struggled with economic growth over recent years? It's a topic we plan to explore with Dr. Patrick Honohan, former governor of the Central Bank of Ireland. Dr. Honohan is this year's Distinguished Visiting Fellow with the Central Bank of Barbados. Our discussion topic: what policy strategies he suggests for small open economies such as ours in this global macroeconomic environment. Join us on Thursday, March 30th at 8:30 p.m. for the Caribbean Economic Forum, live on Caribbean television and radio stations. This forum is thanks to the Central Bank of Barbados, the CFA Society of Barbados, and CMC.
Welcome back. Well, road tennis has finally been added to the schedule of the National Senior Games. The sport, which has seen major growth, is now one of 8 additional disciplines to this year's games.
The categories would be novices, intermediate, and advanced for both genders. I must say that the numbers is over 50, but we've attracted a lot of young people as well. But based on what the numbers, we would expect in 40 or 50 people. But remember that there's a Island-wide tournament, and we might be surprised by the numbers. But because we are initially having this tournament, we would expect 40 or so persons.
Well, along with road tennis, netball has returned to the games, joining archery, basketball, dominoes, cycling, tennis, and table tennis. Well, the 16th edition of the Senior Games is set to commence on April 24th and will culminate on Whit Monday, June 5th at the Usain Bolt Sports Complex with track and field.
The National Senior Games has indeed become a most permanent fixture on the calendar of our senior athletes, our future senior athletes, their families, and for all spectators alike. I'm happy to report, therefore, this morning that having listened to the concerns of our athletes and other stakeholders, we have sought over the years to continually introduce ways of improving the Games. Consequently, even with dislocation in terms of the National Stadium, as you know, the National Stadium is not what it used to be. Our last 2 years senior games, as the PS alluded to earlier, were a resounding success. Reports and feedback from our senior athletes and other stakeholders indicate that changes were effective and very well received.
Well, competitors from Trinidad and Tobago and St. Vincent and the Grenadines will once again take part in the annual event. Well, last night we reported on the 15 goals scored in the latest round of games in the Digicel BFA Premier League. Well, tonight CBC's Mark Seal has the video to match.
It was a big goal fest in the first match of the day between Weymouth Wales in green and Waterford Compton. Arantes Lawrence gets the ball rolling for Wales, converting the first goal in the 22nd minute. Just 4 minutes later, Rivera Williams makes it look too easy from this free kick, taking the score to 2-0. The keeper having the worst day ever, giving the ball to Wales yet again, as Williams scores another in the 45th. The score is now 3-0. The second half was no different. Despite the significant lead, Wales kept pressing on, and it was Hayden Holligan who made it 4-0 in the 60th. It became shooting practice for Wales since the Compton defense never arose, giving the keeper additional work. Here, Lawrence increases the lead to 5 with his brace. As the minutes flew by, so did the goals. The keeper making a mess of this free kick, failing to secure the ball as Lawrence completes his hat-trick, making it 7-0. The final goal of the game came in stoppage time from a penalty, and it was Romario Harewood to put the proverbial nail in the coffin. Compton dead and buried as Wales take the game 8-0. On to the second game between UWI Blackbirds in yellow and Belfield. Jermaine Hughes opened the scoring for Blackbirds with a brilliant header to the back of the net in the 26th minute. The second goal resulted from this free kick, but it was an own goal as UWI walked away with the 2-0 victory over Belfield. To the final game, the most competitive one as well, Notre Dame in the blue versus Ellerton. And the Dames got the first goal thanks to Daniel Rowe in the 24th minute. The Dames made it 2 just 3 minutes later with Ronaldo Seal, cool, calm and collectively beating the keeper to make it 2-0. It was a different ball game in the second half though for Ellerton. Here, a penalty, and Shaquille Bell converts to make it 2-1. Ellerton will complete the come from behind to equalize in the 64th minute with a lovely through ball reaching Bell yet again. And with finesse, he slots the ball to the right of the net. The score now 2-2. On to the dying minutes of the game. The final minutes of stoppage time actually, and all Gregory Lalu Goodrich had in mind was victory. Here, skillfully working his way through the Notre Dame defense to score an unbelievable goal, giving the boys from St. George the well-deserved win. Ellerton 3, Dames 2. Mark Seal, CBC Sports.
Gregory Lalu Goodrich still has it. Well, due to time constraints last night, we were unable to complete a story on a basketball camp that went through various schools last week. Junior basketball players were granted a chance recently to train with coaches from Toronto, thanks to the Next Gen Basketball Academy. The camp included the coaches visiting various schools and also working with the combined schools Tridents on evenings. One of the schools chosen was St. Michael. Tonight, we air the story in its entirety.
The Academy has teamed up with True Champs, the Health Institute, and Can Ball from Toronto to hold a week-long camp to spread some knowledge on the younger generation about basketball skills and ways to move to the next level. The team consists of 4 coaches and 2 sports chiropractors who have been showing the kids what it takes to achieve their goals, reach the next level, and how to prepare for it. One of the coaches, Josh Cardoza, says there's a lot of talent in Barbados, but it just needs to be harnessed correctly.
Here, I think a lot of the kids have potential. They're raw, they have the athletic ability, they have the height. So it's just a matter of kind of taking care of that potential and really bringing it to the forefront. And I think programs like Next Generation and us being out here can assist with that and give them a little bit more exposure and provide them with some opportunities to build as they move forward. And hopefully the experience that these coaches are bringing, giving them that insight into what it's going to be like if they have the opportunities to go to whether it's Canadian prep or American prep schools, and then hopefully NCAA and even beyond. So we really want them to just feel confident with themselves and bring that hunting attitude when it comes to basketball.
Organizer Zahir Mataura says the camp is going as planned, and it's just a stepping stone to some of the goals they hope to achieve with the academy.
They're seeing what it is like to train with overseas coaches who have experience at a higher level, and you know, it's one thing to say something when we hear to the players who they hear every day, but when they hear it from another voice, it's kind of the same word that they're hearing, but you know, you hear it from a different voice, they hear it put across a different way, they're kind of a little more responsive to it. This is just one stepping stone as in terms of coaches coming in. We want to plan more coaches coming in, but more importantly, hopefully by next summer, we want to get to a situation where we at Next Generation can take maybe 2 or 3 teams in terms of the under 11, under 13, or under 15 age categories to Canada or to the States to play games and to get that experience playing against guys from overseas who are kind of the same age, and then they'll realize that they know got work to do and they can see what it's like to compete at that level. But that's one of their main goals, is to try to get players overseas on scholarships or even just going overseas to play.
Murtawa also says the camp is not only about basketball. The ultimate goal is to produce well-rounded citizens who contribute to society.
Hopefully they stick to the sport, but you know, you want to create that environment where they will learn the teamwork, the discipline, all those things that come with a team sport. So when they really create into adults, they can carry these traits throughout their workplace, throughout wherever the environment that they're going, and just making them better people all together by showing them a different way of thinking through basketball.
Well, still to come, the WICB chairman of selectors talks about this weekend's T20 squad.
It's not about exercising. It's having the strength to do what you're passionate about. It's not about the road traveled. It's about the one to be traveled. An important thing in life is finding the perfect balance between body and soul. With a bottle of Ensure, you get the proteins, calcium, and 26 vitamins and minerals your body needs to live the best moments of your life with strength and energy. Your life, your health, your Ensure.
Barbados, a tropical paradise known for its beautiful beaches and friendly people. But even in paradise, disaster can strike suddenly. If you feel a long, strong earthquake, if you see a sudden rise or fall at the sea level, if you hear a loud noise coming from the sea, run to high ground or inland immediately if you see any of these warning signs. Be tsunami smart.
Thanks for staying with us. Well, a junior basketballer will be looking to showcase her newly acquired skills on the local scene after she attended the Basketball Without Borders camp. The camp was staged through the NBA over the recent All-Star weekend. CBC Sports had a conversation with Tower Lord about her experience at the camp. CBC's Mark Seal reports.
Tower Lord was chosen to represent Barbados in the Basketball Without Borders camp, which took place over the NBA All-Star weekend. Tower was selected based on her potential and skills displayed in the Digital Jumpstart camp, which took place in Tortola last August. She says the experience was both beneficial and educational.
The experience for the Basketball Without Borders Girls Camp was completely amazing. It just opened my eyes to that there's so many different styles of basketball around the world, and that basketball doesn't just stop here in Barbados, that you have to continue getting better and better at it.
Lord also said that after seeing some of the girls in the camp, she has decided to remodel her game.
My first goal right here is to get better at my ball handling skills and to work on my shooting, especially from a long range, because I usually am in the post. But when I went to the Basketball Without Borders camp, I saw some girls that were 6'4", so I decided in my head that being a post player, if I want to get a scholarship, I have to be an all-round player, because there are girls that are taller than me, but you need to have skills so that you're able to play on the same court as them.
Lord also gives some insight to some of her goals, and she says it's not only about basketball. Education is also a major part of it as well.
My long-term goal would probably be to get into the WNBA, but I'd like to go to college ball first and then gradually go into that.
Any specific colleges you would like to attend?
I like the way how Duke plays, but I like how UConn plays as well. Right now that's what I'm looking at, but I also want to go to college that I'll be able to study what I want to study, so have to make that decision as well as deciding what basketball team is best suited to my abilities.
Mark Seal, CBC Sports.
Well, West Indies chairman of selectors Courtney Brown has high expectations for the regional side in the upcoming T20 series against Pakistan. Brown, speaking with commentator Barry Wilkinson, said the squad will be boosted by the inclusion of senior players such as Kyron Pollard and Sunil Narain. That's news that's worth some extra time.
I think with our experienced players being around, when you look at Sunil, he was in UAE in our last T20 tour.
Yes.
Pollard was there as well. Simmons was originally in the squad, but he got pulled because of injury. So basically, we have very similar team to the team in UAE, obviously with the addition of Lendl. So we're definitely looking forward to a good series against Pakistan. We got a good trashing in UAE, so we're hoping now that on our turf, we can do what we have to do to make sure that we start off the tour right, especially with our T20 team, which is the most experienced of our three teams.
Right.
So we'll be expecting obviously a lot from them.
Now, I recognize that you've picked a 60-man squad. Will this squad be available for the entire T20 series? Because we know it's going to overlap a bit with some of the guys having to go to the IPL.
Well, what we have done here with the 16 players is really to allow our new coach, Stuart Law, who's in, to have a look at some of the reserves. And also, we've only selected for 2 games because, as you know, we're in the Caribbean, and at some time we may need to, pull a player or 2 here in order to strengthen our team if we need to get in, say for instance, a left-hand seam bowler or something like that. So we want to have that option when we are home in the Caribbean. If we are on tour, we're limited to our squad. Yeah. But here in the Caribbean, we need to be able to have the services, or be able to pull from the services from all of our
So
players.
these players will be available throughout the entire...
Yes, they will be.
So they won't go to IPL until after this is over?
Well, no, they will not.
Now, I want to ask you about Chris Gill. He was a missing name. What is the position with Chris? Was he unavailable for this series?
He was through injury, and that's about it.
Well, the 4-match T20 series gets underway this Sunday starting at Kensington Oval. Well, tomorrow's a big day on the sports calendar. It's all starting with the finals of the Pine Hill Knapsack at the Usain Bolt Complex. The opening ceremony is at 10 a.m. With the track and field action from 11. Then in the evening at 7 will be more games in the Mass United Insurance Clash of the Titans Road Tennis Tournament, round of 64 at the Dover Hard Courts. Those games start at 7. Also at 7 p.m. will be a senior netball knockout game between the BDF Soldier Girls and Wow Shotters. And it will also be Day 2 of the Frank Blackman Zone of BSAC at the National Stadium. Start time, 9 o'clock sharp in the morning. Well, that's Sports Night, the Tuesday edition. We'll be back tomorrow with a special focus on knapsack. I'm Damien Best. Good night.
You're watching CBC.